Author and media critic Thomas Senchel once said, "Misinformation is not like a plumbing problem you fix. It is a social condition, like crime, that you must constantly monitor and adjust to." And he's right. As we learn to adapt our weaknesses in separating reality from fraud, the very media that shapes our reality also evolves in ways that can make deceit and dishonesty more difficult for us to detect. Now, do you think you have been keeping yourself adept at picking out misinformation? Why don't you see for yourself?
Canada is a flagrant violator of the most basic human rights. Fail a COVID test and they will lock you up without trial. And go ahead and try to disobey.
State Department is on the defense in the wake of the emerging controversy over Andorra, which received over $3 billion in U.S. aid money last year. That funding has now been cut off following the revelation this week that Andorra is not a war-torn African region, as previously believed, but in fact is a very wealthy Western European country.
Obama calls Delima abnormal. Delima resigns. Delima on suicide watch. Her son caught with drugs. Her sister arrested for drug trafficking. All startling stories suggesting the woman is a guilty mess.
Every clip you just saw is fake. We are proud of you if you were able to tell, but if you didn't, don't fret. We are here to help you combat fake news for yourself. Look, fake news is taking over all kinds of media, and it's only up to us to save ourselves from falling victim to falsification. With that being said, let's first talk about what fake news actually is. We define fake news as published or propagated untrue stories. They generally have some truth to them, but are often intended to mislead the readers or audience with some inaccurate information. Of course, there are also unintended false or inaccurate news, which is referred to as falsity or misinformation. However, fake news is especially scary because intentional untruths are often spread with an agenda in mind. This just makes it even more important for us to stay vigilant and be able to distinguish fake news.
To do that, we can follow a few simple steps. Step 1. Cross-reference. Don't look at just one source when you're gathering information. The more sources there are that agree, the more reliable the information likely is. Step 2. Check out the author and the publisher. Perform background checks and see what they have been up to. Do they have a reputation for releasing trustworthy material? Is there any reason to suspect hidden agendas in the information they publish? Consider questions like these when evaluating how reliable a source is. Step 3. If you still aren't sure, ask for second opinions, especially if you know some appropriate authorities on the matter. You might just be able to trust the people around you more than you can trust the internet. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you aren't so sure what to believe. However, don't forget that there are no hard rules here. Deception can still come from consensus, trusted sources, and the people around us. Above all, make use of your common sense. Stay informed and never take news as truth without thinking about it first.
What is fake news? A. Stories with absolutely no truth to them. B. Published or propagated untruths. C. Accidental errors in facts. D. Authentic data provided by credible references. The answer is B. Which among these steps is not a way of identifying fake news? A. Discussing certain articles with friends and family. B. Checking all the links you can find on the topic. C. Avoiding looking at the author's name to avoid personal bias. D. Making use of common sense and double-checking anything suspicious. The answer is C. One source of information is already enough to secure that such news is reliable. A. True. B. False. The answer is B. Can you tell whether this is a fact or fake news? Elderly woman trains 65 cats to steal from her neighbors. A. Real. B. Fake? The answer is B. If a headline contains big numbers, then it's a clue that's a clickbait. It is attempting to get you to click on the page to make money from advertising. This story is completely made up. Watch this short video clip of news.
See, part of the problem is when we eat 20 pounds of food a day, we're also consuming toxins, pesticides, and other impurities. Scientists found that halting the stream of food you send down your gullet for at least 5 minutes gives your digestive system time to refresh, reboot, and tackle the next 24-hour onslaught with renewed vigor. The result? A more efficient gut and an energized you.
Are the facts stated in the clip true or false? And why would you think so? You can pause the video to think or even search about the claims made in the clip. A. True, because everything makes sense and all the facts presented are true. B. True, because the broadcaster is well-known and reliable. C. False, because the speaker sounds like she's following a script. D. False, because the facts are completely false. The answer is D. That's right. Humans generally do not consume 20 pounds of food a day, which you might have just seen on a quick Google search if that sounded fishy to you earlier. As you probably already know, 5 minutes of not eating is not the secret to weight loss.
But before you go, don't ever forget why you're learning this today. You want to stop the spread of false information. By watching this video, you are learning to analyze the credibility of information. You're learning to see the truth in your life more clearly. You're learning to slowly but surely make a change. This change will bring you, and perhaps one day, the world around you priceless benefits. You can develop your critical thinking skills. You can evaluate everything you read and hear with much more accuracy and confidence. You can become a productive and information literate citizen of the country. All of that starts here, if you're willing to let it.
Remember, this world is not ideal. For whatever reason, people may lie and deceive, whether online or to your face. By starting today, you can help make a change in the world by protecting yourself from these lies. You can learn to distinguish the false from the true, the fake from the real, and in doing so, you can become a global citizen who stands for truth. Always remember, there is more than what meets the eye. This world may not be ideal, but you can always bring it one step closer to making it ideal. We'll be rooting for you all the way. Thank you for watching, and we hope you've learned something worth your while.